We're going to go out of order and go to House Bill 2542. Stephanie, can you give us a briefing?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2542 designates a portion of U.S. Highway 56 in Morton County, Kansas, as the Bill Tucker Memorial Highway. Section 1 provides that the Bill Tucker Memorial Highway will be designated on the portion of U.S. Highway 56 from its junction with County Road 14, then northeast to its junction with County Road 16. Highway signs designating the highway will not be placed until the requirements of KSA 68-10-114 are met. KSA 68-10-114 provides that the Secretary of Transportation should not place any signs designating memorial highways or bridges until receiving sufficient funds from gifts and donations to cover the cost of the signs. Additionally, the Secretary must receive an additional 50% of the initial cost to pay for future maintenance or replacements for the sign. The bill would take effect from its publication in the statute book, and it was unanimously passed in the House on February 10th. I stand for further questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Stephanie. Good job. First up, we have Representative Long. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Representative Marty Long. I serve in the 124th District. I represent 6 counties in southwest Kansas. Those counties are Morton, Stanton, Hamilton, Stevens, Grant, and Haskell counties. House Bill 2542 was brought to me by the mayor and citizens of Elkhart, Kansas last fall, wanting to designate a portion of U.S. Highway 56 east of Elkhart as the Bill Tucker Memorial Highway. Bill Tucker was a very successful farmer and rancher in Morton County. He was born in 1931, went to high school in Elkhart, graduated in 1949. He was good friends with the Olympian Thane Baker. Maybe some of you have heard of him. They were classmates. He also knew Glenn Cunningham. Bill was very civic-minded in that community. He spent 20 years on the Elkhart, Morton County Hospital Board, He was also a trustee to the Kansas Hospital Association. He was a delegate to the American Hospital Association. He was charter member of the Elkhart Bank in Elkhart and saw a need to start a bank in Elkhart some 5 or 6 decades ago. So he was very instrumental in that. He also enjoyed politics. He was known statewide with his involvement in state politics. He was honored to serve as the Kansas delegate in the Republican National Convention in Detroit in 1984 and also in New Orleans in 1988. He was well beloved by his family, his community. He was very involved in sports. Everyone in Morton County would love to see this happen, so we brought you House Bill 2542. There was no doubt Bill was loved by his family and his country. Perhaps the biggest goal was to make things better for his community, and he did. Bill was an iconic image and symbol of Morton County. He portrays a life well lived for his community and his state. This highway dedication would help memorialize his contributions for those of us that knew him, but also for future generations. There was a fiscal note, you might see, of $7,500 and to construct and install the signs from KDOT. I'm told by the mayor and citizens of Elkhart that as soon as this bill is signed into law, they will begin fundraising efforts. It's for a 2-mile stretch of Highway 56. Bill farmed both sides of that 2 miles for about 75 years. So he was on the road every day of his life. That road took him everywhere. That stretch of road is about 12 or 14 miles east of Elkhart, just to give you some idea. Elkhart, many of you know, from Elkhart, city of Elkhart, to the parking garage in the basement is exactly 400 miles. So it's a ways out there. Mr. Chairman, I would stand for any questions. Thank you.
Committee questions for Representative Long? Seeing none, thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you very much.
Any other proponents? Any opponents? Any neutrals? We'll close the hearing on House Bill 2579, or excuse me, on 2542. Turn our attention to House Bill 2615. Adam?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2615 would commemoratively designate a portion of U.S. Highway 166 in Montgomery County as the Brigadier General George H. Wark Memorial Highway. This would be from the portion of U.S. Highway 75 from its southern junction with U.S. Highway 166 in Montgomery County, and south of the Kansas-Oklahoma border. As is customary, the provisions of KSA 68-10, 114 requiring payment of the cost plus 50% would be in effect. Currently, this section is currently designated as the Purple Heart / Combat Wounded Veterans Memorial Highway. So that section of highway would have to be unnamed for this new section to be renamed. And with that, I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Committee questions? Seeing none, thank you, Adam. First up, we have Andrew McBride. Can you hear us, Andrew? We can see you. I think you're muted, Mr. McBride.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to the committee for allowing me to speak today. I also want to thank Senator Peck and also Representative Blex for supporting this bill. And I thought, well, I'd go ahead and speak on as a proponent for this particular bill. Brigadier General George Henderson Wark is considered to be Caney's favorite son. He was born in 1876 near Liberty, Kansas, and his family was one of the first to locate in Montgomery County in the 1870s. In 1900, he graduated as a member of the first class of the Montgomery County High School at Independence. In 1903, he completed his law degree at the University of Kansas. Shortly after graduation, he established a law practice in Caney and remained there for the next 74 years. He joined the Kansas National Guard in 1909 and was commissioned as a first lieutenant after a few days. In 1916, he was elected to the Kansas State Senate. In 1917, he organized Company D for World War I and became a captain of the 139th Infantry in 1918. He served in France at many battles, including the Battle of Argonne. He was awarded the Silver Star, Presidential Citation, Victory Medal, and ribbon for his bravery in action. Coolness in the face of extreme danger, ability to command, and for conduct that inspired others. In 1919, he organized the Caney American Legion, naming it the Ernest Brown American Legion Post 138. Ernest Brown was the first Company D soldier killed in World War I in France. And that post, I might add, is still active today. The Caney Post being active for over 100 years, but in the same year, 1920, he was named as a member of the Court of Industrial Relations, which was a pet project of then Governor Henry Allen. This was authorized during a special legislative session in response to the coal miner strike in Crawford and Cherokee counties. Violence did escalate, and the governor dispatched 4 companies of the Kansas National Guard to restore order. Afterward, Mr. Wark returned to Caney, restored his law practice. In 1921, he became the federal prohibition director for Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. In 1933, he married, and also the same year, he reorganized the Kansas National Guard, later attaining the rank of brigadier general. He served as military counsel for the state of Kansas and was commanded the 35th Division Artillery Brigade from 1932 to 1941. In 1941, he was released from service due to physical disability and practiced law until his death at the age of 96. The Caney City Park, which covers 1 square block, is named in his honor. In 1974, full military burial rites were administered by the Kansas National Guard with an 11-gun salute with rifles, followed by a salute from 3 howitzer cannons, all flown into Caney by 3 helicopters. 3 flags were placed at his coffin: the American flag, the Kansas National Guard flag, and the General's flag. Several Kansas National Guard high-ranking officials also attended the service. This service was such that they even let the school kids out to witness this. But on a personal note, I had the privilege of knowing General Wark. He was considered to be soldier's soldier throughout his life. His main concern was the people that was under his command. And throughout the whole time that I knew him, I never heard him brag about himself, even though he could. He never bragged about himself. It was always about his soldiers. And throughout his career, he exemplified what I consider to be a full military person. He was just that way. Now, given the fact that we have a Memorial Day service every year, and it's sponsored by the Caney American Legion, that is because of his efforts over the years. One thing he did mention to me one time was the fact that he said, I don't want anybody in Caney to forget our veterans, our servicemen that have given so much. And he always exemplified that in his speeches and in talking with him. And he didn't. He always had the veterans first and foremost. And for many years, he conducted that service. And I have the privilege right now of conducting that for the American Legion as commander. So I know that some of this information may sound a little long, but we have a lot of information and documentation for General Wark at the Caney Valley Historical Society and Museum. And we have a large display of things that belonged to him during World War I. Documentation, we have a lot. I could be here for quite a while. We condensed it, or tried to anyway. So with that, I would entertain any questions you might have at this time.
Any questions? Senator Tyson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your testimony, Mr. McBride. An impressive resume, but a bit of trivia. He served with my husband's great-grandfather 100 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great.
Further questions? Seeing none, thank you. Senator Peck was going to be here today, and he has a full schedule. He said you would do just fine, and you did. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Lieutenant Colonel Marshall. Welcome to the committee.
Good Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Lieutenant Colonel Keith Marshall representing the Kansas Adjutant General's Department. We appreciate the bringers of this bill and the legislature for considering this bill to honor a distinguished Kansas National Guardsman, as you heard from the previous conferee. This is a member of the Kansas National Guard Hall of Fame, so one of our most distinguished members that we've had in the long history of the Kansas National Guard. He was a soldier, a warrior, a leader, and a statesman, and he exhibited the finest qualities of a citizen soldier in that he served his community, his country, and his state both in and out of uniform. And Mr. Chairman, I won't rehash all of his accomplishments as you heard from the previous conferee, but I will stand for questions if the committee has any.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.
Are there any further proponents? There are no opponents, no neutrals. We'll close the hearing on 2615. Return to that order of business, House Bill 2579. Adam?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2579 would commemoratively designate the portion of K49 Highway from its junction with 119th Street, then south to its junction with US Highway 160 in Sumner County as the private Michael E. Gerber Memorial Highway. Signs would, of course, be subject to the customary requirements provided by law.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Adam. Representative Hoffman, welcome to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for postponing the testimony. I'm sorry I was not able to be here the last time you brought this up. Today I do stand in support of House Bill 2579 on behalf of the Gerber family. Private Michael E. Gerber was a young man that lived in Sumner County, Conway Springs to be exact. Within just a few months, he was drafted into Vietnam, went to Vietnam. He was there like just a few months before he was killed in action. So he died on May 27th, 1976, which will be, in May this year, will be the 50th anniversary of his death, and of course, many others that died in Vietnam. So his family asked me to see if we could memorialize him. He was the oldest of 14 children, and he always wanted to come back to farm, and that didn't happen. But if you'll see in my testimony, I kind of rehashed the testimony from on the House side, and we did had to change the name, and so that's actually in the testimony I submitted, but we've already done that, so you don't have to worry about that part. I should have struck that out, but didn't get it struck out. So, but I do think it's kind of interesting that we're able to do this, and it's to me it's kind of it's neat, I guess, that we just heard from we're going to designate a part of a highway for a very decorated general that lived a very good life, did a lot of stuff for Kansas, and then we also can designate one to a private that just barely was able to live his life, but yet he gave his life for our country. So anyway, with that, I'll stand for questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Representative.
Thank you. I'll go back to caucus then. So thank you very much.
Are there any further proponents? Any opponents? Any neutrals? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing on 2579. Committee, I'd like to turn our attention to 2605 to work it. Adam?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2605 was the bill I believe we heard yesterday that would designate the portion of US Highway 36 from the eastern city limits of Phillipsburg, then west on US 36 to the western city limits of Phillipsburg and Phillips County. And this would be for the Under Sheriff Brandon Gade Memorial Highway.
Committee, it's that time of year. I'd like to offer an amendment to change it to publication in the Register. Do I have a second? Seconded by Senator Corson. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried, amendments adopted. Back on the bill. Committee, what's your pleasure? Senator Bowers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would you like this to be a standalone bill?
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. I would make the motion we send out House Bill, can you remind me of the number, Adam? Pardon me, 2605, favorably as amended.
Do you have a second? Seconded by Senator Warren. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Bill's on its way. We turn our attention now to 2606. Adam, could you give us a briefing?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 2606 was the amends the definition of conviction under the Kansas Uniform Commercial Drivers Act. Under the definition of conviction, it would strike the one word "and" as currently exists in definition. I believe the hearing was yesterday where this was discussed.
Any questions for Adam? Committee, what's your pleasure on this bill? I'll make a motion to amend the date to the Register, effective date. Do I have a second? Seconded by Senator Warren. All further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Amendments adopted. Back on the bill. Committee, what's your pleasure? Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that we pass out House Bill 2606 as amended favorably for passage.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Corson. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Bill's on its way. That's all our work for today, committee. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.